You never memorize specs or torque charts, but you still ride, and something about that makes it matter. You skip the meets, you skip the talk. You'd rather ride than explain why you do. You don't follow forums or bike culture, but something always clicks when the ignition flips and the engine breathes. You never cared about building the machine. You just wanted to feel what it does to your soul. Chapter 1. You don't fit in. You pass the lot. You see the scene. Stunts, chrome, noise, but nothing about it pulls your throttle. You watch from the edge, where smoke doesn't excite you and volume has nothing to say to your chest. They flash logos. Yours are worn smooth. No clubs, no brands, just cracked leather and a throttle that listens. You sip coffee alone, watching their table echo horsepower. You've never needed group validation to justify ignition. They move together, one blur of revs. You trail solo, not slower, just quieter. Purpose isn't always loud. You don't hate the noise, but you ride for the pause that comes right after it disappears. They talk mods, you ride stock. The bike isn't unfinished, it's untouched, like soul with nothing to prove. You don't check volume, you check feel. Every pull isn't for ears, it's for the heartbeat under throttle. You don't stay long. That exit into quiet clarity always feels more honest than standing still in noise. You turn away without regret, not out of rebellion, but because the road ahead feels more like home. Chapter 2. You just ride different. You don't warm up for applause. You ride quiet, ride early, ride late, and it always means something personal. You don't rev for attention. You rev to remember something that no one else on that road ever will. Your brakes whisper, your throttle waits. You ride like the bike's a conversation, not a competition you're trying to win. You sit alone, sipping cheap coffee beside your tank. Nobody sees you, but the ride already understood everything. You don't follow, you wander. Even the bike knows your choices aren't based on maps, but on feeling. No one hears it happen, but you find peace somewhere between the clutch's catch and the throttle's rise. You don't chase speed, you chase space, the kind only bikes create between thoughts and real life, closing in. Sometimes you ride slower on purpose, not for fear, but because the silence hits harder when the engine breathes less. The road looks different when you're not trying to conquer it, just trying to listen to what it says. You dismount without flair, no fist pumps, no cheers, just rubber on gravel and a heart that beats steady again. Chapter 3. You care more than you admit. You don't brag about caring, but you check the tread, top off fuel, wipe dust, because it matters quietly. You don't need reminders, you do it without praise, just to make sure the bike never wonders if you forgot. You press gently on the frame like it breathes, not a tool, a companion you've grown to respect deeply. You check everything again before riding. Not fear, just habit from loving something enough to make sure it's ready. Nobody sees the details you notice, but they're your fingerprints, proof that attention isn't performance, it's devotion. You zip up slow, then pause. You glance again just once to confirm everything feels right before the wind returns. You test it all before motion. Every ride is sacred, routine to others, but to you, a ritual. The way you sit down says it all. You're not here to escape, you're here to connect, quietly. That last inspection isn't nervous, it's spiritual. You touch the machine softly, like saying thank you before departure. You don't rush the launch, you breathe, you check, you prepare. Because this isn't just a ride, it's a promise. Chapter 4. Maybe you're just built different. You don't need a reason, you're drawn to it anyway. Not for thrill, just something deeper you never named. You've never chased specs, but when the wind hits right, something unlocks, like your body finally recognizes its rhythm. You don't plan photos, you plan escapes. Even if it's just 10 minutes, it always brings something back with you. Everything moves loud out there, but not here, not when the bars are yours and silence listens back. You never rehearsed this part, but every movement, every lean, every twist, your hands already knew the whole sequence. Your ride isn't performance, it's calibration, a way to line up your head with your breath, body, and pulse. You don't smile for the camera, you smile because the moment asked nothing from you and gave everything. You've never posted the route, you've never shared the view. Some piece is too private for pixels. It hits out of nowhere, the sense that you belong here with the wind, the wheels, the why. And one day, maybe you'll ride more, maybe you'll ride often, not to prove something, but just to feel it again.